Hello and welcome to In Focus. I'm your host, Yesenia Taveras. Derrick D is a self-proclaimed barber, author, business coach, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, a law change maker, and the CEO and founder of His Image Barber Lounge. He joins us now to share with us his journey from a kid raised in Wilmington's Riverside neighborhood to a man owning multiple businesses, writing plays, becoming an author, and to helping ex-felons to obtain a barber license. Welcome to the show, Derrick. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. This is really awesome.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Be great.
I can't wait. I was looking forward to it. It got here quick though. So yeah.
It did. Yeah. A lot of planning into this. So
absolutely.
Talk to us. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, you said it in the main script. Derrick D. Reed. I'm a business owner in Wilmington, Delaware, which I love the city, love the state. I'm an author. Business owner, and family man, you know what I mean, 4 beautiful children. Well, they're not children, they're grown now, so lovely wife, and just trying to live my life in Delaware and be an example, just like a light, you know. So yes. Most of all, I love people. I love and I love progressing.
Yes,
so, yeah.
And that you have been progressing all your life.
Love it.
And take us back to when you were born and raised here, growing up in Riverside, Wilmington.
Yeah. Well, you know, of course, I was born in Delaware. When I was born, my mother and father was actually married. A lot of people don't know that when I was born, I lived on the west side of Delaware for a brief period of time when my mother and father was married, and you know, regular family life, going to church. You know, just Easter celebration, we all dressed up in white, you know, just family stuff that, you know, normal families would do, eating dinner at the table, you know, on Sundays. And then, you know, kind of things changed when my mom and dad got divorced around, I guess around 5 or 6 years old. And then we ended up, you know, moving to Riverside. It's kind of like, I call it the reverse Jeffersons, you know, I say moving on up. We was moving on down after the divorce. But then we ended up in Riverside, I guess around 7, 8 years old, and I was actually raised over there.
And so, yeah. How many siblings do you have? You come from a big family?
Oh man, I come from a mighty big family. Believe it or not, I have in total 8 sisters.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know, and 4 brothers.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know that.
So was it more of the sisters protecting the brothers as opposed to brothers protecting the sisters?
You know what? It was actually equal. You know what I mean? I have some brothers, my older brothers, who are overprotective of me. I was just telling the story in the barbershop about how my brothers would just have my back, even if I'm wrong, you know? Right. So my older brothers was overprotective. My sisters, they're just as aggressive too, so they love me to death. So, you know, I loved them too, and they was protective too. So kind of equal, 50-50, you know?
And for those who don't know, are you a twin?
I am a twin. A lot of people don't know that. There's just a couple things that's gonna come out of here, right? Goodness.
I know something I learned.
I know, right? And you guys do your homework, so yeah. So yeah, I have a twin brother. We're 3 minutes apart. Born June 28th. I won't disclose the year.
I was gonna say, who's the oldest? You or him?
I'm older by 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Older by 3 minutes. So I have a twin brother, 3 minutes apart.
And people who don't know, he's actually the man behind the Refuge Center as well.
Yeah, the Reed's Refuge Center. So yeah, Frederick Reed. So shout out to Reed's Refuge Center and him and his family for having an awesome daycare center and a community center. So yeah. Yeah.
And with all these siblings growing up in Riverside, you do have, your father was present within the first 5 years.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about how he impacted your entrepreneur spirit.
Well, you know, it's funny, and you wouldn't think you would learn or pick up that much within 5 or 6 years, you know, that your father's there. But it's also a testament how important the father presence is, because I picked up entrepreneurship through him because he had a construction company at the time. And not only that, he was doing other little side jobs or something. I've been selling fruit on his side. He was actually a deacon in church. But seeing him get up and go to work every day, running his own business, I guess subconsciously it got into me and my brother for the entrepreneurship. We see him come home, and at times he would take us to work on the construction site, and we'd hear somebody say, "Boss man," and we're like, "Daddy, the boss," you know what I mean? So I remember those days, and I remember him coming home with dirty, muddy boots from working in concrete, and we wanted those same boots. He ended up getting us those boots. So those kind of things stick with you as a child. And seeing your dad as, you know, working for himself. So I guess it was embedded in me and my brother, you know, growing up, where, you know, we became entrepreneurs just off that little bit of time.
That's right.
You know, it's amazing.
And so he was able to plant that seed for you. And then your mom's been there since the beginning too. She was able to pick up. Talk to us about, let's shine the light on your mom, being a single mother, raising all of you. This is her here.
That's her. She's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
She is. Very beautiful.
Very beautiful lady. That's Miss Elise Reed. Who held it down when, you know, her and my dad went through the separation and then divorce process, and she just kind of put the family on her back and said, let's go, we're going to still survive and still do what we need to do to keep this thing moving. And we ended up moving into Riverside Projects, where things were just totally different, from the way we grew up. But it instilled a lot of stuff in us and helped us to be strong and take a lot of things. My mom was single, so she was raising boys and daughters.
How did she do that? Talk to us a little bit about that.
It's funny. Back in the day,
especially in Riverside.
Hey, listen, no shot at the younger moms today, but back in the day, mothers were tough. You know what I mean? Meaning that it's sad that it's almost expected the father not to be there, and then the mom would just take, well, I just got to double up. Because back in the day, mom had a few rules, and one of the rules were you're not going to embarrass me. You're not going to embarrass yourself out here, and you're going to be something. So it was where the mom, if she ended up being single, she would take on the father role too and know that she had to toughen up. Opposed to today, it's like, it's not like that. Like mothers back in the day were tough, and she just became more aggressive with boys because she had to be, what I mean, because she was raising men.
That's right.
So I shout out to my mom for being tough enough to say, I'm going to double up. Dad's not here, but we're not going to quit. Dad's not here, we're going to keep it moving. And you're going to be something.
That's right. And it wasn't always easy either. Like some people see the Derrick that you are today, but you went through some tough times when you were growing up.
Yeah. Growing up, we grew up in an era where we had to wear the same jeans the next day or take them jeans off. If you had new jeans, take them off before, when you get home from school. I remember, getting clothes out the dirty clothes hamper and iron them things, and they might have been crusty, or just wearing some outfits that, wasn't popular. Back in the day, we wasn't the family that had all the new sneaks. Today, again, kids, they get Jordans and things like that for totally nothing. You get rewarded for nothing. Back in the day, you had to earn them sneaks. If you're going to get some sneaks or you get some new clothes, you had to earn that. Mom wasn't just going to buy you. She didn't care about what your friends think, and she didn't care about the holidays. Meaning that if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in school or right by me, I'm not going to reward bad behavior. When now we're in today's where you see a lot of kids get some stuff that got all types of bad grades and suspended and everything else, but they come to school with cell phones and Jordans. Like, it's mixed messages. But back in the day, my mom didn't play no games. We didn't have a lot of things growing up. It was sometimes where we didn't have breakfast. And we had to eat what we could eat. And then dinner came around. We ate breakfast food. We had breakfast food, but we were saving that for dinner.
Right.
Because it was hard. Growing up in the projects, and she wasn't used to doing things by herself because she had a husband. And back in those days, it's like, the man worked, and the wife more so tend to the house and take care of the children. So if he leaves, mom got to figure it out, and she figured it out.
That's right. And what would you tell to that young kid who's watching now, who's kind of going through the same thing, even right now in 2019, a similar experience that you went through?
Today, I would tell them to, never give up, number one. Find people that can help you, mentorship, apply yourself in school, so you can, get the good grades or get the degrees or, a lot of people don't know, a lot of kids don't really realize that if you do what you're supposed to do in school, you actually can make good enough grades to get a GPA where they can pay for college. You get rewarded, from doing great things.
Right.
And it's to the point where you have to just keep going. You have to keep going and be around people that are doing something, that are making things happen. Be honest with your situation to certain mentors or certain leaders. Tell them that I'm struggling right now, but I want to do better. I want better. Can you help me?
Right. And Riverside is definitely different than what it was when you were growing up.
Yeah.
It's actually evolving.
Yeah.
And so for the time that you were there, how did you, well, for those who don't know about Riverside, paint to us a little bit about the environment that you grew up in and how you made sure you didn't make yourself become a product of your environment.
You know what, I was thinking about this just the other day, and again, growing up with my father in the household where we sat around the table and did family things like eat dinner on Sundays, and like I said, even on Easter Sunday we all get dressed up in white and we go to church. Well, I moved to Riverside, it was a whole new ball game. Easter meant throwing some sneakers and a TI sweatsuit. I don't know if you remember the TI sweatsuit. You throw the TI Adidas sweatsuit, you walk around the block. I know people watching and know what I'm talking about. You walk around the block and show off in front of your friends. I don't know if we went to go get anywhere to eat and nothing like that, but I remember. Yeah. Just walking around the area, Riverside. That's what we're gonna do, walk around, But when I moved over there, I was introduced to a whole nother lifestyle of drugs involved now, violence involved now, poverty, of course, the drug game. And I was thinking about that, and people always ask me, how did you make it out? Why didn't you end up hustling or selling drugs, and you were struggling, you need money just like everybody else. You wanted to fly sneaks. So I had guys that was cousins and family members who actually did hustle. That used to wear their sneaks. A lot of people don't know, they used to hustle and stuff, and maybe old sneaks to them, they were brand new to me, you know what I mean? So it looked like I had name brand stuff, but actually I was getting it from the hustlers or somebody that, sold drugs around the way. But me personally, I had to sit there and think, why didn't I get into the game? And I wanted money again. And it boiled down to, I cared about people. And I don't know if anybody ever said this, but the fact that I saw people struggle from drugs. So I grew up in the crack area, the crack era. So seeing people on crack or on drugs, that affected me because I was like, well, that's the effect, that it does to people, and I didn't want to be a part of that. I thought that my love and care for humanity and people was more important for me to make money and be on some block. Yeah, I could make a couple of dollars and have some stacks and nice clothes and sneakers, but I was tearing up somebody's life, and I was seeing somebody's mom walking around, doing whatever it takes to get crack, or some old uncle was selling and renting out his car. They called bloop rides back in the day. We're here, rent his car out for some crack. So, and just seeing people deteriorate, I saw that firsthand, even in my own household with, stepfathers and their family abusing drugs and stuff. And I just didn't want to hurt nobody. I didn't want to be a part of that, so that deterred me from being on the block and selling it to them.
And you did have a cousin, you don't have to say his name, but you did have a cousin who was involved in the drug game as well.
Yes.
How was that for you? Because violence comes in our community, in our city, often. I mean, we've had a tough month here in Wilmington.
Yes.
And so obviously this is something that's continuing to happen, but talk to us about that experience when you were a young kid, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, my cousin I grew up with, he was athletic. He was stronger than all of us. He could beat all of us in fighting. He could play. He was better than us in all sports. He was just great. I mean, he was just phenomenal as a athlete. As he got older, he was introduced to the drug game, and he ended up being part of the drug game. And I remember seeing the transition. And he always had our back and looked out for us. But I seen the transition where he went from being broke to he got the latest car. And not only did he got the latest car, he got the latest paint job and got the seats leathered out. He would go buy a car and just deck the whole car out where it didn't look nothing like when he bought it. And he got into the drug game of, the crack era. He fell into those cracks. And he ended up getting shot and killed. So, and it's funny because on that day, it was around September, I believe, when he got shot. I can still remember how the weather was. You know what I mean? When something that just takes you right back to when it happened.
And you were there.
I was actually in Riverside at the time, and he got shot across the highway, what they call, Riverside Bucket 26, so more so the 26 area. And I remember coming up through the back of Riverside somewhere, we had the clothes hangers, home clothesline, and somebody said, they just shot such and such, and they didn't want to say his name, but they just shot such and such. And I was like, when? And I'm like, my heart just dropped. And he said, over in the bucket. I said, when? He was like, right now. He said, right now. I ran across the highway. There was a little breezy outside.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I probably was about 19.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was probably about 21.
And you ran
21,
over there?
23. He was about 23, so I probably was about 20. Yeah.
So at 19, 20 years old, what was going through your thoughts when you were running over there?
Running over there, this is my cousin who's, to us, invincible. Like, he was a young guy. He could beat up grown men. That's how he was. He wasn't that big. He was in shape a little, but I ran across the highway, true story, ran across the highway, and I remember seeing him laying on his back. And I remember him, I'm gonna tell you what had a leather coat on, and he was laid out on his back with his hands out. And it almost looked like he was lifeless then, even though the paramedics was kind of working on it, and they had the yellow tape around and all that stuff. And I think the helicopter was in the air while I was running across the street. So I knew it was like serious, So I got over there and I see him laying on his back, and there was nothing I can do. And I saw him laying there as if, I don't know, again, to us he was invincible, but when I saw him laying there, I was like, he was just a young kid just like us, Right. And at 23-year-old, if I look back now, he was only 23, and my son is 26. Okay. So I can imagine my son in the streets or involved in something. So I know it has to be disheartening for parents to have kids that's out there, and right. knowing that, there's only two ways out the game, usually dead or in jail. So, this experience at firsthand is hurtful. Still today, just think back, wow, because if he had a father in his life, an uncle, a mentor, things could have been much different. I know things were much different.
And how did you and your family, your brothers, your cousins. How did you guys bounce back from this, having gone through that and seeing that?
You know, it was like more so of a shocker, like, yo, he got killed, you know? So I think it was more so a reality for us to realize that we made the right decision by not being on the block. Even me and my brother Fred, we didn't, yes, it was a good decision to not be out there, because we could have easily been that. I mean, it could easily, in the project area, with poverty and crime and, you know, a lot of things that, you know are not cool are praised as being cool. You know what I mean? Being on the corner late at night, carrying a gun, having, you know, wads of money in your pocket and the dopest Jordans on. That still exists, you know? And, you know, just seeing all that back in the day, you know what I mean? And you have to turn that down, you know? So it's kind of like, you know, it felt like, well, we did the right thing. You know, it's hard. You know, it's hard to turn those things down with your peer pressure. But again, he got sucked in, you know, to that life, unfortunately. But we bounced back by, you know, just realizing that, you know, we want to live, but we don't want to be in jail, you know. So we just knew that we had to really gather up and protect each other.
And Derrick, I know one thing that you're really big on, and I would like for you to share with us too now here, is about the importance of that shift, that positivity starting in the house, at home.
Yes.
Because that can make a big difference for someone's family household, whether you're a two-parent household or a single family household. Talk to us about your perspective on how change happens at home, because we really can't change the drug game. That's always going to be in every city, in every country. But you can make a change in the house, the home that you're building. So talk to us about your perspective in that and how things start in your house.
Oh, I think everything that's out in the street did start at someone's home first. I think someone has, matter of fact, I know someone has a responsibility to raise their children the right way and to get them around positive things. And, you know, you really got to show love to your kids, and showing your love to your kids is loving their future and loving the fact that I can make the future better for them if I do what I'm supposed to do as a parent. We can get out here and point fingers. It's like we're in the new era where everybody want to go outside of us and point the finger at someone else and put the blame on someone else. It's like, no, it starts at your house. You know, it starts at how are you raising your child, whether you're reading to them, listen to the right music, you know what I mean, which is a big influence on our culture, is the music. One thing, I love music. You know, I'm a music person. I love music, even hip hop, from R&B. I like all genres of music, but the ones I listen to mostly is the R&B, the hip hop, and old school things. We got to be careful of that, you know, because this music is actually great music, you know, instrument wise, but it's laced with other things that can actually affect your child. And the one thing I don't like about music is that it shows reward for bad behavior. And we know in the real world that's not so, you know, and we take it literally when we see someone talking about violence and shooting and selling drugs, but he's pushing the Bentley. He's living in the mansion on his videos. He got all types of girls around. So the mixed messages that these kids see is bad behavior being rewarded. So you got to try to switch that in your house and say, no, that's not the way it go. Bad behavior actually gets punished, you know, but on this music. And then also invoke the fact that the music is entertainment. You know, it's funny. In our culture, rappers, they would hate for you to call them by their real name. You know what I mean? But that's who you are. You need to let kids know that you're not this rapper who's on the block selling and shooting people, because you wouldn't be in the studio making millions of dollars selling music. Now, in other cultures, you see Sylvester Stallone, you know, I know a little old school right there, but you see him on the streets, you wouldn't call him Rambo. Matter of fact, he probably, that's not my name. That was just acting. It's separated. I was just acting as that character. You know what I mean? So my name is Sylvester Stallone, you know. But if you call 50 Cent Curtis, you're disrespectful to him, because he wants to keep pushing that lifestyle that, you know, and not saying he's doing it now, but this is what these kids do. They get mixed messages.
They do, and they don't see that light. And even when I was a Def Jam college rep at Morgan State University, I remember interviewing Method Man and T.I., and some of the things that I realized, as you're saying, is even just the way they dress. It's not the same that you saw on TV or on, back in the day, CD covers and things of that nature. So I remember asking that question, like, why is there a difference? Why are you dressed like this, like any other normal person as we get out the house? But there's this like propaganda that you're pushing out to the industry. And they said, well, that's what sells. That's what people buy. That's what they buy into. And it's all a business.
And you know, it's funny. I don't put the responsibility even on them, the responsibility of raising your kid, because
like you said, it starts at home.
it starts at home.
Educating them.
It's my responsibility as a parent to make sure I cultivate good behavior into my kids. I have to instill that. Kids are like little computers.
Right.
Whatever you download in it, that's what's going to be in it. If you don't download nothing in it, then there it is. Or if you download negative things in it and allow it to get negative things, then you get the pop-ups, then you get all types of viruses, So I look at children as something, of course, more important than computers, so you should put more time into them, Right. So, for instance, Allen Iverson got all types of tattoos when he was and playing for the Sixers. Mm-hmm. But in college, he didn't have all those tattoos.
Right.
But these kids see these influences in their later state when they done made money, then got millions with the tattoos on their neck and stuff. And here you get a 14-year-old want to put a tattoo on his neck. Like, no, you can't go to a job interview that. Like, you can't do that.
Yes.
He got millions of dollars, so he can do that.
That's
but
right.
It's my responsibility as a parent to show my kids the difference. I have to show you the difference. I have to tell you what's right and wrong. I have to correct bad behavior. Yeah, there they go.
That's your family right
That's
there.
them. That's all my kids right there. Look at them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. They all doing their own thing and great things. Thank God.
And this is your grandson when he was a baby.
And that's my first one. That's Tierney on the end. She's actually 29 now. So, yeah. And my son right there, and my daughter Kayla and Mariah.
And before you had kids, and I don't know if they know this part about you, but you did start at home with yourself in regards to writing songs.
Yes.
And and that would be like real cool to see what your kids' perspective is, to know that side of Derrick.
Yeah.
But talk to us about how you became that songwriter and making change in the music that you started to create and your group For You.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. People don't know about this side of Derrick.
You dig it. You did your homework. Oh my God.
Who are these people in the photo? Who
that's my boy Arnold. That's Dave, and that's my twin brother Frederick right there, and that's me over there looking like Ralph Tresvant.
Hey, there's always the beginning.
Hey, it's always the beginning. But it's funny, and it's funny, that picture with me and my kids, we was on tour of one of the plays, and I think we down south in North Carolina, A&T.
Okay.
So we was down south on tour with the play. And I took them with me, you know what I mean? So the group, me and my brother always had talent in singing. My family, one thing I didn't mention is that my brothers and sisters are really talented, like way more talented. That's in BET. That's down BET. Where y'all get that picture from? So I was down
Credit
BET.
to Wendell, right, and the rest of the team, squads and working with us. This is just the research that we do behind the scenes.
So my
but
brother,
talk to us about this here.
That's funny. We had just finished a show at BET. They used to have a show called Teen Summit. I don't know if you remember Teen Summit.
Yes.
Back in the day, we performed on Teen Summit, man, and when we came out, they was ready for us, so they mobbed us, because by this time, we was doing Apollo. We was opening up for 112, I think, at the time. We was just doing shows everywhere, and we was getting notoriety, known and stuff, working with big producers. And it all started by having a dream of just being at a talent show. Me and a friend of mine, Brian, said, wouldn't it be nice to sing in front of the audience at our school, our peers? And from there, we ended up becoming good. It's crazy. And Yuki Washington, Stina's somewhere, and invited us on his show. Okay. So after Yuki saw us, and then people from Rough House Records saw us, and we ended up working in Rough House Records studio, and met Scott Storch, who's a multi, what I mean? But he's a writer. He's a writer of the year, and he has some turbulence, but he's back up doing his thing, produced from Beyonce to everybody, with Dr. Dre. So I used to work with Scott Storch. And
how did that happen? How did you create this group and get to that level?
Well, we were sitting, I think I was cutting hair at the time. So I was cutting one of my boys' hair, and we were saying how nice it would be to be on stage, to sing in front of our classmates. That was our dream. We would sing one time and we're done. But what happened was we practiced for it, because we didn't want to be embarrassed. We practiced for it, and we used to do Boys and Men song, a cappella. A cappella was really hot back in the early 90s, of course. And man, we ended up singing, and they loved us. It went crazy. So let's do another talent show. It was like, you know what I mean? It's like another talent show, now another talent show. So we started doing other talent shows, and we ended up getting noticed and being on Channel 3. And then we went to BET. It was crazy. I have so many stories for you, and I can go so deep where it's a group called Drew Hill. We used to be in talent shows with Drew Hill, that's from Baltimore. As Yet, it was from Jersey at the time, called As Yet Entitled.
Yes.
We almost had the song "Tell Me" from Drew Hill. That's how close we were. That was almost our song. We was working with the producers that wrote "Tell Me." Myron Davis, Alex Cantrell, who actually wrote that song. Dave Holler sung it for Cisco and them. we was in talent shows with Cisco and those, so we was mad that they even got the song, but they ended up putting it on a Eddie soundtrack for a movie with Whoopi Goldberg.
Wow.
And they took off from there.
Look at that.
Like, what in the world?
Just
like,
a kid from Riverside blowing up like that.
They just blowing up. So yeah.
We would have to come stop by the barbershop one day to ask the barbers if you ever dropped some tunes in there and started singing.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. The barbers, everybody in the shop sings. So
Okay.
What they think they do? What they put any song on? Then I mean, especially Arms. If you see Arms, shout out to Jabbar Wilson, who swear he's just R&B Arms. You can't sing nothing in the shop without him,
right. And you know who Arms is once you walk in. So.
Oh yeah, you're gonna know. You're gonna know from the gate, but he's R&B Arms in the shop.
And from the singer, you're a playwright as well.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that perspective, that side, how you became a playwright.
Well, of course, when I was young, I did a lot of writing. Not plays, but I was doing music, and writing poetry, stuff like that. Different type of things that can be transformed into a song. Being in the barbershop for so many years, you see so many different walks of life, so many events happen in the barbershop. And I was like, man, I need to write about some of this stuff, because you would not believe the things that goes on in the shop, even with simple hustle men that comes in the shop selling everything.
Okay.
Hence this reason why I wrote my first play, Watermelon Cornbread. And it derived from someone coming in the shop. There it is, Watermelon Cornbread. So a guy coming in the shop selling, he's selling cakes and pies and stuff, Brother Art. So he was coming and selling stuff all the time. So, and it was to the point where he's selling the same thing all the time. And then one of the barbers ended up saying, and that's on the set of Watermelon Cornbread, one of the barbers ended up saying, well, Art, if you're going to come in here, you got to sell something different. And somebody said, yeah, some watermelon cornbread. And I was like, watermelon cornbread? I knew it didn't exist. But I said, do you know what that would do for the black culture if it's something called watermelon cornbread? So, it was just so funny. I'm telling you, I had tears coming down my eyes, and I ended up writing the play.
And where was this stage at?
This stage we had that stage built. So these are different shows in different states.
Okay.
So
that's right. You traveled around the tri-state area.
Yeah, so we traveled around. So that could have been Delaware. I don't even know where the other one was probably
You
at.
went to Virginia.
Virginia, North Carolina, Jersey, Lower Delaware. That might be in Lower Delaware somewhere, in Millsboro. So yeah, we traveled and did a lot of shows. So it was a hit play. One of the guys from Five Heartbeats was in the play. The one that played Eddie King, he was in the play. A couple other people. Miss Tia Pittman, or Tia Cherie.
Okay.
Phenomenal singer. I love that woman. She's something else. So hopefully I'll finish Watermelon Cornbread too. And,
you gonna bring it back out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I already started writing this, so we cool.
Okay, we're going to stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
And now, outside of all of this, the singing and the playwriting, you picked up your first pair of clippers at the age of 13.
Yeah.
And you were doing this as you were, how can I say, immersed in your other gifted talents.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that experience and how that was landed on.
Well, everything that I have done in my life, I always cater back to behind that chair in the barbershop, where even before the barbershop, I was at my house cutting, and that was a way to keep me off the streets. And it wasn't like I was conscious that, I'm gonna cut hair to keep me off the streets. What happened was I was being a barber and cutting hair at my mom's house, where I got so busy, I got so popular in cutting hair. You talking about to the fact mom's like, I know you're making money, but there's a lot of people in this house. They up and down my steps, they outside. I mean, it was just amazing, man. I love my clients. Most of my clients that I cut back in the day, I still cut to this day.
Wow.
Shout out to them, because they still got their hair. What's a testament of how well I cut.
Yes, your retention rate is very high.
Very high. So I started cutting in the projects, and it was just a way to make money, but again, I care about people, and growing up as a kid that couldn't afford a haircut, because we used to go get our haircut to the neighborhood barber who was older. Well, he's going to be older and he's going to move on.
Right.
I'm next in line. I knew that, so I kind of wanted to help the kids that couldn't afford to go to the barbershop. So we cut hair for $3, $5. Okay. I remember haircut for $3, $5, $7. Give me something,
Yes.
And then it turned into a business. It turned into, hold up, you're cutting 15 to 20 hairs a day for $5. And you're starting in the morning and you're getting done at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Where the neighbors like, yo, turn the music down. And then I end up moving over my sister's house. My mom said, oh, you got too many people. I moved over my sister Sheila, and she just, she had 2 bedrooms. She had one son, so she just, 3 bedrooms. So she let me just cut in one of the rooms.
Okay.
And I just blew up from there, where I was forced to go to a barbershop.
And that's where we're going to pick back up when we return after these short
Absolutely.
messages. So don't go away. More with Derrick D. Reed when we return.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
The right to play on any playing field, you have earned it. The right to hold a job, you have earned it. The right to study in any school, you have earned it. The days of separation and segregation are over.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it. Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Welcome back to In Focus. I'm your host, Yesenia Taveras, and I'm here with Derrick D, the CEO and founder of His Image Barber Lounge. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. We're having a ball.
This is really amazing. We're learning so much about you. I'm pretty sure those who are watching are getting some laughs themselves.
Yeah, y'all taking me back too. Like, man, where y'all get that from? So yeah, it was good.
Yes.
Awesome.
So before we went to commercial, we were talking about how you were gaining so much momentum in your mom's house, cutting hair, and you were able to move to your sister's house. Take us from that moment to becoming the acclaimed barber that you are, from your first shop to your second shop.
You know, I was kind of at my sister's house again, and it was just starting to get so flooded with people. I mean, shout out to my clients who actually are the most loyal people that have been with me from day one. It's
That's good.
I'm not even just y'all barber. I'm like your uncle, your big brother. You know, that's how I guess that's how it should be, right?
Yes.
Some of y'all counselors, you know. So, you know, after a while, I became real popular, you know, because of my performance and being good. And I wanted to go further. I wanted to get my license and all that thing, you know, all those type of things. So I knew to do that, I couldn't just get licensed being at the house. So I had to move on to either go to school or do apprenticeship. I ended up doing an apprenticeship at a barbershop first on Styles on the Ave under John Porter, the late John Porter. Great legend, you know, in my book, legend, along with, even with Bubbles Gadsden, who's actually another legend, who kind of like, you know, put me under their belt.
I was going to say, did they mentor you?
Yes, absolutely. Back in the day, again, you know, we had people that, you know, I got to mentor you, I got to be big uncle, you know, and we need more of that today.
Yes.
Big uncle, big brother. I don't mind these young guys calling me OG or big brother. Or I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that we have that respect level where you know the difference, you know. So ended up going to the shop and doing an apprenticeship. Got an apprenticeship, ended up getting my license. Got my license, opened maybe a couple years after that. I opened my first shop, which was called Sharptown. Well, it's amazing because I opened up a barbershop and salon first.
Okay.
So it was both. And then, well, I opened that up, and I always wanted something that we could be proud of. I always want a professional barbershop. And trust me, I own one now, and I know I could be a stickler sometime, but I'm trying to protect the culture. You know, I'm trying to protect that. You know, in our culture, we have church and we have the cornerstone of the neighborhood, which is the barbershop and salon. And we let those go. Like, what do we got? So I don't want the stigma of, you know, when you come in here, any type of music playing. I didn't want that type of shop where, you know, everybody wear what they want to wear or say what they want to say. And even if it's profane or profanity or anything like that, I didn't want that. I want a professional shop that our people can look up to and say, not that shop. They got a good shop. We got something good. So when I opened up Shark Town, that just kind of like established the foundation. That was in 2004.
Okay. And where was Sharptown? What part
that was
of
on
the
Lee
city?
Boulevard. That was on Lee Boulevard. And I opened that up, and I always had great people around me working. You know, some great females, young gentlemen that worked around me. So I was fortunate in that. And not saying anybody was perfect. We had our ups and downs.
It's a growing experience.
It was a growing experience. I'm young. You know what I mean? What, 28, 29 maybe at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. So I was like, you know, open up a shop, and you know, I just wanted to be professional. I wanted to be nice and not only professional, but everything professional. Good atmosphere. I wanted the furniture to match. You know, I just wanted to be good. So after that, it was too much for me because I ended up opening up a barbershop at the same time.
Okay.
So I had a salon and a barbershop, and honestly, they was next door to each other, and that's where His Image came along.
That's how you got the name His Image?
Yes, you know, I wanted, because you know what? I started to realize there was so many salons. There was salons everywhere. And they were not.
Hey, we all need to get
yeah,
one.
y'all had it on lock for our salons. And not only that, y'all had it where, you know, y'all had nice salons too. I mean, everything wasn't hood. It's some hood stuff out there, but you know, y'all had some nice places to go, you know what I mean? And men didn't have nothing. We didn't have nothing nice. We just opened up a shop, put a chair in there and mirror, and you know what I mean, rock out. So I wanted something for men to have and say, oh, our thing nice. So I opened up His Image Day Spa first.
Okay.
And then it turned into His Image Barber Lounge.
And this is, I don't want to use the word beautiful because I feel like it's feminine, but this is an amazing barbershop.
Yeah.
Talk to us about just cultivating the environment that you have in there, the colors that you picked. I mean, what are we walking into here?
Well, you know, of course, for the colors, you know, everybody's with this gray everything. That's the new neutral color. Everything, even your house got to be gray and light gray and dark. I'm tired of it. But even with that, I got to throw my red in there. So if you come in there, you're going to see the sign to your right, His Image.
Yes.
Let me tell you. And
accent wall, but it has your logo on there.
Yeah, and I want people to come in there when they feel, you know, soon they come in, they're going to see the TV, they're going to see my workers, they're going to see the floor, the red sign. They just know.
And it's very clean.
And thanks to my brother Earl. Again, my older brother Earl, he cleans my shop. And then I have another young lady that cleans too sometime named Diamond. My brother is like the head cleaner who's going to do the woodworks and paint. He goes over and beyond.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but what I want to say too as I'm seeing this, Derrick, is that the barbers that you have there, just when I was there that day, I felt like everyone's really a team, like brotherhood, and everyone's in there laughing and talking, and even with the clients. This is a beautiful moment right here with your grandson learning how to cut. With your daughter. Talk to us about this environment right here that you're creating.
Let me tell you something. And my daughter started working with me, I think, a couple of years ago, and she's heaven sent, you know, because Tyranny is like way more talented than I am, you know.
Did she cut your hair?
Yeah, she cuts my hair too. So she cut hair. She's a stylist. She's an instructor. Like, she has this thing from A to Z, you know. So she came in and said, Dad, one time she said, I want to cut hair. A couple years ago, I said, now let me tell you something. It's a male-dominated field, but I'm gonna give you everything that I have, you know. And she's the type, let's do it, you know what I mean? Because Tyranny even knows about cars, like you don't know, she knows everything about cars. So even that, so I knew barbering, she's gonna be able to take that. So she took it, she ran with it. She's helping me run a shop. She's helping me create an empire. We're gonna open up more shops. We're gonna do Her Image coming soon.
There she goes.
There she is, cutting my hair.
And I didn't even know our very own Saquon Stimson. He was the one who actually put me on to His Image because I have a son and I didn't know where to take him to get a haircut. But he was the one who told me that your daughter cuts his hair.
She cuts his hair.
I was just so blown away. I was like, wow, a woman cutting men's hair and learning their textures and knowing how to do the fade. I mean, I have no knowledge about that, so I couldn't even cut my own son's hair.
They better watch out. The men better watch out because the women come in. I keep telling these guys, so women are not going to be lazy. They're going to get their credentials and they're going to do what they need to do. So men better to watch out, step their game up because the women are coming. When it comes down to this barbering, oh, they coming. And she's a stylist and a barber. She's like a triple, quadruple threat.
Yes, you were telling me she does women's hair. You could get your hair dyed there too.
Amazing, and she loves color, so she does a lot of coloring. But shout out to my daughter who helps me run this and help me build this empire. I don't know what I'd do without her.
I was just gonna say that by having your daughter in your barbershop, in your lounge, you're not only a father to her, but you're also teaching her the business about being an entrepreneur, having your own thing, and you've been able to instill that within your whole family.
Yes.
From sowing your seeds to reaping the benefits, and now what you've been able to instill in her, as we've seen, she's instilling in her son, your grandson.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It means that what I'm doing is working. I guess it's working.
But what's your why? What made you want to get to this moment that we're seeing right now?
I think in life that is one of our most important callings is to be productive. I think that we have to be productive. We have to keep growing. You know, if you're not growing, then you're not alive. And all that you do, you have to be productive. And I teach that and instill that into my children. Now, it is a catch-22, and that is my kids at a young age. Now, I ain't working for nobody. I want my own business. Right. They're 10 years old, but I get it. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to deter them, but let's grow, because sometimes having a job too can teach you certain abilities and stuff like that.
Yes.
But to see this happen with her coming to the shop, to see my other children growing up and trying to open their own businesses and do their own thing, it's amazing to me. It's amazing, and it's it tells you how important that the father, of course, parenting, period, mother and father are so important to, you know, raising your children and helping them to be productive. I think, you know, in life we have to realize we're not here for nothing. You know, we're all here to produce. We are here to be productive. We are here to use our value to bring value to other people. Which in turn makes you valuable, you know. So,
and I'm so grateful that you're able to present that in our society, because we don't really see that too much in the African American and then the Hispanic population. And you're showing them that this could be a family business too. Yeah,
it could be a family business too, as well. And I want that because, you know, I can't cut hair forever. You know, I'm trying in the sense, you know.
Watch out now, your grandson might come up and be better than you.
Like, where did that come from? You know, look at him. Like Tierney's something else. She's going to teach him already. You know, he likes classical music. You know, she introduces him to classical music. He plays the violin, you know, because it has to start now with the kids.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that, you know, these older ones that's in their 20s, that it's over for them. You know, everybody has a chance to begin again, regardless. But I do understand the fact of how important it is to raise these new generations up. We can't do the same thing that we've been doing with the other generation.
Right.
We have to change. Now, we have to get reading into them. We got to get them into the right things. You know, maybe your son, 18, 19, and got incarcerated or did some things, made some mistakes, and we'll pray for them, and hopefully they get it together. But these young ones coming up, oh, we got to change what we're doing, because you keep doing the same thing expecting a different outcome.
That's insanity. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Let's do something different with these little ones.
That's right. And you've had the opportunity to cut some celebrity hairs. Some people think, I remember the old slogan when I first was working in the city of Wilmington as a lifeguard. I remember always seeing a place to be somebody.
Yes.
And you were actually that person at such a very young age. Talk to us about the celebrities that you've been able to cut and cut their hair, and actually like the experience of it all. What were some of the topics that you guys were able to discuss? You know,
cutting hair, again, has opened many windows for me. Many windows where, you know, the blessings just keep pouring in, you know, and that's when you're faithful, you're consistent. You know, I really strive to be, you know, show quality and consistency. People notice you. People notice when you do great things, you do great work. It's about performance. I just heard someone say that, you know, success is nothing that you get for yourself. You know, you work on your performance and people give you success.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's important.
You know, people give you success. So I worked on my performance even behind that chair. You know, I wasn't concerned about being successful or being in front of celebrities or stuff like that. It's just that I worked on my performance and people said, no, you're good. So
talk to us about this.
I was a young dude cutting, and Roy Jones Jr. was actually the champion at the time. I think he went on and lost after that. But I ended up, a friend of mine, BL, oh my God, BL actually set me up with to cut Roy Jones' hair. He called me out the blue I think it was on a Saturday. Where you at? I said, I'm cutting, you know. I need you to come over here and cut Roy Jones' hair. I'm like, Roy Jones, the champion. And I knew he knew him.
Right.
And I ended up going there to cut Roy Jones' hair, and he was an awesome guy. He was the champ. He was humble. He was cool. Probably cut the best fade he ever had in his life.
I bet. And when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So was there like a unique conversation between that one?
Yeah, real good. That's actually different. You know what's funny? I asked him about working out and losing weight, those type of things.
Okay.
And one of my friends was actually a Roy Jones fanatic. I let Roy talk to him on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I called him up and say, Roy's on the phone. So that was one of the things. And Roy was telling me about, losing weight. And he's like, nah, just run. You want to lose weight? Run. Drink the water, but run. But you got to run twice a day. He said, lose it just like that. So he's a boxer. He would know. Right?
Yes,
so,
right.
And I ended up taking that advice from him. And we hung out the rest of the day after that.
Okay.
Went to a celebrity basketball game. Then we went out to dinner. It's just an awesome guy. And that's Dietrich Haddon. Gospel artist, Dietrich Haddon.
And you cut his hair as well.
I knew a friend that knew him. Who called me out the blue. I was at the shop this time. Mm-hmm. And I think when Roy called me, maybe I was at somebody else's shop, but I was at my shop at the time, and I went and cut Dietrich hair in Philly.
Okay.
So I cut it a few times after that. I have another barber who actually cuts him now, to be honest.
Nice.
But I ended up starting cutting Dietrich Haddon, Keith Washington, so many different other people that I can't even think of.
Okay.
Because you're young, you kind of celebrity. After a while, you just get used to it.
Yes.
Cutting a lot of celebrities' hair and stuff like that.
And
so.
I'm just thinking about your wife right now. Did you ever cut her hair? Because we're talking about celebrities, and she's a celebrity in her own right.
Yeah.
We were talking about getting fit and things like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful women.
Yeah.
So talk to us about just that aspect of growing this empire between the two of you.
Well, it's funny. About 3 years ago, my wife she was working as a CNA at one time, and she was doing nursing all her life. And one time we was at the gym, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. About 3 years ago, we was at the gym, and we just happened to be working out. And I noticed the way that she was working out. I'm like, you're doing everything perfect, and you like getting on my nerves because you're not going down far enough. You're not lifting it. So she was really a stickler on me. And I said, you're a trainer. She said, what you mean? I said, you need to get into training and I'm saying it in an argument, you ain't my trainer. But she ended up becoming a trainer, a certified national trainer.
Okay.
And she fell in love with training, and now she's training pretty much everybody. And she's trying to find a new location now for a new facility that she can actually open up. Mean Body Fitness. Okay. And if you call yourself Mean Body, got a mean body, right? So Mean Body, shout out to my wife, Tyree, who actually a trainer now that's doing her thing.
And that's just awesome, a dynamic duo.
And she's in shape.
You guys push each other.
Yeah. So she do her thing. And I'm proud of her for being out here, being a trainer, and finding a new passion, a new love, a new career. I mean, she quit her job 3 years ago. And that's all she does now.
See, your entrepreneurship, it's wearing off.
It's wearing off. It's working, right? It's working. So, yeah.
Yes, and you were also working behind the scenes, too, as a barber, doing cuts, combos, and coffee.
Cuts, convo, and coffee.
You can actually still go on YouTube and see some of the topics you talked about.
Yeah.
Talk to us about this. You actually had Councilman Turner at one of your Cuts, Convo conversations as well. Yeah. What is this initiative? What did you birth here?
Well, Cuts, Convo, and coffee, of course, we cut, and there's always different conversations in the shop, and I can't do anything without having my coffee in the morning. I'm sure some of you guys here. I got it. So
all of us.
And one thing about the barbershop, everything's talked about. And I love that. I don't want to lose that. We live in this, era where everybody's sensitive now. You can't say this, you can't talk about this. But, a lot of times, we got to get the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And sometimes, we got to go through the rough things to get the truth out. And this is one of the Cups, Convo, and Coffee editions we had with Brothers Brunch at the barbershop. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. Amazing. And we have the ball right here because whoever has the ball gets to talk.
Okay.
So nobody's talking over each other. If somebody have a comment, we pass the ball to them. Boom. And now, since we had to meet, look at the Councilman Turner there. Mm-hmm. So we're passing the ball around. After a while, us, we flipping it around, and everybody want to be cool. So we probably
everybody has moves.
Yeah, look at my boy. Oh my gosh. So yeah, everybody was there. So we had conversations, and it was called the State of the Black Male Cuts, Convo, and Coffee edition. Okay. And I just want to ask some questions about where are we? Who are we? What can we do to better ourselves? What can we do differently to grow? So Cuts, Convo, and Coffee, and Brothers Brunch, Kevin Turner, who actually runs Brothers Brunch, we collaborated on this one. And it was just a good conversation, and what better place to have it than a barbershop?
Yes.
Where everything's said, everything's talked about, and I don't want to lose that. Politics, religion, relationships, we talk about it. Look at my boy, Rick. Yeah, Rick Detweiler, that's my big bro right there. So
and these are prominent leaders in our community as well.
Absolutely.
And we don't have to talk about people's business, but what's like a common theme of like topics that are discussed at these at your barbershop at these moments here?
We talk about fatherhood, raising our sons, even about being relationships, being a good father, being a good husband. We talk about finances. We talk about what's our responsibility of being inspiration to the community. and what's our responsibility to the community, you know, and these young guys coming up. A lot of guys ask questions and like, I'm having a hard time with my son, or I'm having a hard time reaching my son. And you go through that as a father. You're gonna go through times where your son's getting a little older, maybe feeling himself. My mom would say other things, you know, but he feeling himself. You know, your mom say smelling, you know, I know, Mom. But and it's even with me as a mentor or someone that speaks inspirational to people, I need help too sometimes. But I thank God I got different friends and brothers in my corner that actually can help me. Because if I can't talk to him, I know Seth can, I know Brian can, I know Connell can. I can go down the line with my corner of brothers who, they're gonna get with my son and I'm cool. And you need that. And that's what Cousin Convo is about brothers having each other's back. Wonderful. And it's not just our culture, every culture, any brother can come there and talk about some issues that, you know, we all need each other.
Love it. It's like it takes a village, but here it takes a barbershop.
It takes a barbershop. I might steal that.
You gonna steal that?
Yeah, I'm stealing that.
It takes a village, but here it takes a barbershop.
It takes a barbershop.
And you do so much outside of just your barbershop alone. You've done some great work down in Legislative Hall in Dover, Delaware.
Yes.
You actually serve on a board as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about this moment. What were you making law changing happening here?
Wow, that's House Bill, I believe, House Bill 98. This House bill were helping give criminals another chance at, you know, reentry. I was a barber. I became a licensed barber. Then I became an instructor, and I was like, how can I, you know, even make it even further, or at least have some say so where the barbers have a voice. So I ended up getting on the board of cosmetology and barbering, and after a few years, I became the president. So now I'm the current president of the board of cosmetology and barbering. You get to speak on the behalf of barbers and stylists as a professional. The great thing about the board is it's comprised of professionals, members, and public members. So I'm one of the professional members who actually can speak on behalf of barbers to a certain extent to know, give them insight on what really goes on in the barbershop salons. And then you have the public members that people may even go to shops, and, you know, our job is to protect the public, hands down, to regulate, you know.
And what did this bill do once the law passed?
Well, this bill actually, we had a crimes list, and the crimes list had nonviolent crimes on it, and a lot of things, and I'm talking about this packet, you know, pretty much were stopping ex-cons or, you know, ex-felons to become barbers. Like, oh, you can't cut hair because you had this on your record, or you can't cut hair because you had this, that, and you know what I mean? So once we got it and we actually went through it, we cut out pretty much a lot of things on there. So it was a lot of nonviolent crimes that was on there, was stopping people from just cutting hair, you know? And I'm like, listen, they're not in the barbershop, they're out in the street, you know? And we were going through the time where people need jobs.
Right.
My job, I want people working. You know, I don't want young guys, you know, of any race out in the streets. I want you in the barbershop. I want you up under somebody like me that I can mentor you or teach you or help cultivate your craft or your gift or your trade, you know? So we got the crimes list and we eliminated all that stuff. So it's barely anything on there. A lot of things on there that's on there now, it's just to protect our children. You know what I mean? From different types of people that have those type of, you know, problems, you know? So we're gonna protect the children. So, but when it comes down to nonviolent stuff, a lot of drug stuff was on there. The stuff's not on there. A lot of people don't know that, but I want to make sure I make a point that they can't stop you from getting your barber license right now. You can get your barber license, because I still run into people saying, D, I can't do this because nah, that's gone. It's off. So thanks to House Bill and the sponsors for that, we made it happen.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So.
And you're able to have them in opportunities of re-entering the workforce. They're making money now.
Yeah, open their own business if they want to.
Yes,
you know?
providing for their children.
Yeah.
And you yourself have been able to hire ex-felons too as well. So this is, like we said, a community and a village and a barbershop.
Yeah, and if I can add one more thing to it, we done our part. You know, even as a board president, I'm doing my part to come to the table to make things easier or make things, you know, open up the lanes for you to be able to get a license. I need them to do their part now. I need you to go ahead and do the apprenticeship and get your books. I need you to go ahead and pass the test. I need you to do your part, because a lot of times we put so much on other people to do things, but we forget that we have a responsibility too.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Even with things that I'm hearing about in the city about what's going on. Yeah, I understand that we have officials that speak on what they're going to do and all that, but we have a responsibility too.
Okay.
And again, it goes back to things starting at home and, you know, developing people that's going to do positive things. So let's not forget our responsibility.
Yes. And we're getting to the end of this show here, but I really want to make sure we touch a little bit about your being an author of this book right here. Mindset Go. Talk to us about this. Amazing chapters, by the way. You got to get the book. You have to read this.
Go. You know, the course they'll say we don't read too much and all that. I wanted to break all that up. I'm the type of person that I am going to break up stereotypes. Hide your money in books and you don't have to worry about it. Listen, black men read. You know what I mean? Not only black men read, black men write books. So I'm one of them. So I wrote Mindset Go because a lot of things that people ask me, it's like, you see, I can't answer everybody, you know, so I decided to put it in the book. You can get it on Amazon and all platforms, all outlets, audio, whatever you want it on, it's available.
And you get very personal in this book as well. You have a lot of analogies,
Yes.
examples.
Yes, and I just, again, I want people to be productive. I want to give them, you know, the truth as much as I can. Of course, I got some opinions in there on some things, but I deal with a lot of facts. You know, I deal with a lot of knowledge of just helping you be a better you, you know. So Mindset Go, a lot of books are called self-help books. I didn't want to write a self-help book. I wanted to more so write a book about knowing yourself. I think it's more important that you know yourself before you can help yourself.
My favorite chapter was freeing the hostage.
Oh,
I love that chapter. That hit home for me.
wow. Well, guess what? It's funny you said that. Freeing hostage, I actually wrote for females.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I started off about, I think I was at a meeting that I was invited to speak at.
Yes.
But Free the Hostage actually wrote that for females because I know you know, you guys deal with it a lot and people don't hear you. You know, at
And
least
we're stuck.
male. Yeah, male, we don't hear, you know. So I wrote that, you know, for female. Free the Hostage is one of my favorite chapters, one of the most emotional chapters, I think, in the book. But again, we write a lot of books or self-help books that say, you know, change your mindset, change your mindset. Yeah, but after you change your mindset, what then? Well, you got to go. And Mindset Go is come from you changing your mindset and then going forth.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
you have to move.
And if you want to know more about it, you got to get the book. You have to
Yeah,
read
it's
the
a quick
chapters.
read.
Stop by the Barber Lounge. Let them
Yes.
know what you think.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And along with being an author and then writing this book, and I believe you said there's going to be another book coming out?
Yes, I'm working on another book now.
Okay. We won't spill the beans, but we know there's one coming up.
Oh, definitely, definitely. My
Let's
manager.
talk about your shirt line real quick.
Oh, this is your shirt. Oh yeah, well you know you got the red on. So I don't know if I get it to you right now. That's your shirt.
Thank you.
Driven.
Yes.
Yeah, I think motivation is great, but I think motivation comes and go. Again, if you was saying I'm motivated to run outside, yeah, you are until it start raining or still start snowing. When you're driven, it doesn't matter what outside. I'm going. Yeah, I'm going, and that's my attitude. I'm a person that's driven. That letter D is actually how I write my D.
I was going to say, I love the subliminal. D for Derrick and then driven.
Yeah, I'm driven.
Line.
So yeah, I mean, I want to thank everybody that's been wearing the shirts and stuff like that because it has some type of energy to it when you wear it that I'm driven. You know, I'm not going to stop no matter what the circumstances are. And I try to preach that. I'm not perfect by a long shot, you know.
Right.
But I do want people to win, and I want to win myself.
Well, thank you so much for pouring your heart out.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you joining us here on In Focus.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. I had
It's
fun.
definitely been a pleasure. And we're going to stay in touch because you're doing so many things in our community.
Thank you so
I
much.
know you're just going to keep going up and up more and more.
Yeah, I'm
There's
trying.
never enough time with Derrick D. Reed.
That's right. We're trying to make Delaware a small, wonderful state.
Right, that's right.
So, yeah.
Bringing people here.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Derrick.
you. Thank you as well.
Thank you. And on behalf of all of us here at WITN 22, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for watching this episode of In Focus. I've been your host, Yesenia Taveras.